The next topic that we have in our checklists is reduce, reuse, recycle. Massive issue in terms of supply chain. And the reason why reduce, reuse, recycle is said in that order is because that's the order of importance. People usually think of, hey, if I'm recycling, I'm doing the right thing. Well, from a cost standpoint, as a business, you're not doing the right thing, and as an environmental impact thing, you're not doing the best thing that you should be doing. The first thing that you should be doing is reducing the amount of material that comes into your business. Walmart makes a famous case for this. It's been proven over time that big shiny packages help the sale of whatever package has the big shiny package associated with it. That's why you see all these TV packages for a 32-inch TV packed in boxes that could fit a 45-inch TV. The perception is supposed to be, hey, look at how big this TV is to the buyer. And they're not very likely to return it after they've bothered to unpack it and do all that work. Excuse me. And that's the case for big packaging. Who does that help? That helps the case could be made that it helps the merchant, but it really doesn't. Who that helps is the company that made the TV, because that means that their unit got sold versus the other types of TVs that were there. Walmart makes the famous case for reducing the amount of packaging that you allow vendors to put on their products before they come into your business. And this goes for everything. If you're talking about how much paper you have to store, well, that's your space that you're paying for, and that you're probably air conditioning and heating. You want the one with the least amount of packaging. But in terms of product on shelf, Walmart said, hey, wait a minute. You see these massive stores that we're paying for to build out and that we're using? We're doing that so we can pack our shelves full of product. As much product as we can fit on the shelves. Because we know if we build a big enough store and we put it in a good enough location that and sell stuff at a competitive price, that a lot of people are just going to come in and buy. That's their model. And they've done that to the exclusion of a ton of small businesses out there. And they did that job very, very well. But what they weren't doing is they weren't capitalizing on their packaging of their products. So they had some of these people out there that were putting product on their shelves. They would make it so that on each shelf, only 4 units could fit on an entire section of shelving. And then they have alternative providers out there that have not used that level of packaging, and these people could fit 16 packages on that same piece of shelving. Well, think about what Walmart's model is. Walmart's model is to pack as much product on their shelves in as much space as they can to get as many people in a big space to come in and buy in good locations. So where does Walmart make more money? Walmart makes more money by not having to always have to restock their shelves and take up space in their buildings so that somebody else can make a lot of packaging so that their product can defeat another product in that place where somebody's likely to buy anyway. So what Walmart did, and they saw sales rise dramatically as a result, was demand that their vendors cut down on the amount of packaging on their materials. Now, how does that affect most businesses? Well, if you're not in retail, it really doesn't affect you in any great degree there. But if you're reducing the amount of paper coming in to your business, that's kind of neat. So how would something like that work? Well, let's say you got all of your printers set up to print double-sided. Hey, that's kind of cool. What does that do? Well, Hewlett-Packard says that means you're going to save 40% in paper costs if you set all your printers to print double-sided by default. Most companies have that capability. They don't use it. So reducing the amount of stuff that's necessary to take in. Getting into paper-intensive conversations is always important. What's going on in terms of, electronics equipment? Are you buying electronics equipment that is small and doesn't take up an awful lot of space in your building, isn't packaged heavily as it walks to the door? Do you get rid of those desk pads that people have on their desk rather than have them buying stuff like that they don't actually need? So taking an inventory of what do we actually need to operate as a business effectively and what we don't is a great way to do that. So reducing the amount coming in is the first thing. Reusing stuff is fantastic as well. supply reuse. A lot of people are taking the stuff that they did have to print one-sided, and they're taking the back sides of that. What they're doing is taking all that paper, they're cutting it into fours, right? And then they're stapling that together to make a new notebook using the backs of that for notebooks and stuff. Imagine if your business didn't have to buy any notebooks this year because people were just making better use of the stuff that they had to print one-sided anyway. That's going to lower costs. And there's a lot of stuff in terms of reuse, paper clips, rubber bands, all of the office supply stuff that you can possibly think of to reuse. Please do reuse it. Find creative uses for things if you can, and if you can't, then think about in terms of reducing. Sorry, I kind of forgot this one. But try to get rid of as many paper-based forms as you can. That's one of those recommendations. So, does your business use paper-based forms for anything today? That it might be able to switch over to an electronic-based form. A lot of times, you'll see people talking about vacation forms. Vacation forms is a great usual example because it's going to go to one person to sign off on it. It's going to go to their immediate supervisor, and then it's going to kick up to somebody else. And everybody's got to sign off on this. Poor Joe's got the time coming to him anyway to take their vacation time. Based on weighted on whether or not how many other people are going on vacation. That form can very easily just be passed around electronically, signed with digital signatures. You don't need to use paper to do all that. You don't need to. You can reduce the amount of stuff that your business is spending in order to get that done. And then finally, at the end, if you've reduced everything that you can, reused everything that you can, then you start recycling. You use that notepad that I told you about with the staple in it, and you've used it to its full. Great. Cut the staple off it, then drop it in the paper recycling bin. And if businesses do not have a recycling program in place, which most don't, and that it's a startlingly low number. It's something like only 14 to 15% of businesses actually recycle. That's a gross number. There's a lot of residential recycling that's taking place around the country because they have all those. Municipalities have concerns about the landfill issue, and they usually don't have to pay if it's recycled material that's hitting the landfill. That's hitting the recycling plant. But at the office space, usually you have to pay for it as a separate line item to have recycling done. And most people just say, hey, for the use of the bill, either use of the bill for my trash pickup, I just want to pay one bill. Take it away that way. And a lot of trash haulers don't even do commercial recycling. So there's stuff that needs to be done in that space to get creative, to get that stuff taken away. We always say, hey, look, if the trash hauler won't take away the recycling as a separate item, encourage your employees to take it home with them. If they got paper at their desk, please ask them to take it home and recycle it there. That helps the business in a couple of ways. If you have stuff that's sensitive, like if you're a mortgage company and you got Social Security numbers all over your paperwork, you don't want to do that. And have your employees take it away. You got to have a paper shredding service anyway to be in line with certain legal requirements. But you want to recycle as much as you can, be it paper, plastic, packaging, cardboard can be recycled. So please do as much as you can in terms of the recycling. Get people out there to start recycling programs up. That's work that needs to be done locally. Let's move past that.